member of the Orioles. For Kyle Gibson tonight, the last time he pitched in this ballpark, Ben, he struck out 11 to tie a career high.
Yeah, his 2 starts in Baltimore have been outstanding. His last 2 starts, not so good. A little bit of a struggle for Gibby in his last 2 times out. The good news is he's pitched really well against the Rays. He's 5-0 with a 1.67 ERA in his last 5 starts against these Tampa Bay Rays.
And he'll face these Tampa Bay Rays, leading the majors in average on base and slugging. About everybody in this lineup is good. Randy Arozarena, we know he's great. 18 in a row on base. He'll be following Yandy Diaz and Wander Franco for Tampa Bay. 6.4 runs per game. An absolutely loaded Rays team, the best in baseball, against the Orioles. The top 2 teams in the American League meet for the first time this season on Monday, May the 8th, 2023. And we begin with ball 1 at 6:35 on an absolutely splendid Monday night. Gibson's sinker is outside on an 81-degree evening with a wonderful clear blue sky. And the Rays in their sky blue uniforms, led by Diaz, leading the American League in on-base percentage at .435, second in slugging at .605. Diaz takes one outside for ball 3. Rays are somehow not leading the majors in runs scored per game. Texas has just slipped ahead of them, but they lead the majors in all 3 slash line categories, and they've hit 13 more home runs than anybody else. Diaz takes a 3-0 strike. Gibson throwing to James McCann tonight.
Yeah, the Rays can beat you so many different ways. You mentioned they lead everybody in home runs, batting average, second in runs per game, but they steal bases too. 33 stolen bases, the 6th best mark in all of Major League Baseball.
And that cutter is high, so Yandy Diaz, who leads the American League in on-base percentage, just up that number with a walk.
Well, let's take a look at the pitch arsenal. This is StatCast powered by Google Cloud. See, he loves his fastball. Fastball, he will throw. The sinking fastball is definitely the bread and butter, about 25% of the time for Kyle Gibson. He'll, with the 4-seam fastball, about 39%. The big difference for him has been the slider this year. That sweeping slider has definitely been his best pitch. Opponents only hitting 162 off of that slider.
Got a backdoor curveball to Wander Franco. 22-year-old Rays superstar who is playing like a superstar again. And Gibson's command is not there early. Franco was hampered by injuries last year, quad and wrist issues. It's his second year of an 11-year extension, and he has played like the player the Rays thought they were paying for. Franco in the season top 6 in the American League in hit, steals, and extra base hits. OPS of .898 with 14 doubles. Go along with 6 home runs. There's 14 doubles, second in all the American League. Going to be a lot of league leaders here. Hardly a Rays batter will go by without us saying he is in the top X in Y.
Well, there's only 2 position players on this roster that are not above league average when it comes to OPS plus, and nobody else in baseball has a roster like that. Only 2.
That is insane. 2-2. One of those is Manuel Margot, who's only 6% below league average and is a great defensive outfield, and the other one's Francisco Mejia, who's the backup catcher. There's Margot, who is not playing tonight, not starting at least. 3-2 to Franco. Diaz leading at first, and he is in there standing.
Now, Kyle Gibson trying to field his way through this first inning. When you're navigating around these top 3 guys, and Diaz, Franco, and Randy Arozarena, it can be difficult.
Diaz going, and Franco chops one. Frazier gets to it. Nobody's at first, though. And it'll be an infield hit for Wander Franco. And the Rays have runners at first and second to start the game.
It almost looked like Adam Frazier was leaving to cover second base with Diaz breaking, and he has to turn around quickly. He gets to the ball and makes an outstanding play as he turns and wheels and throws over to Mountcastle, but not in time. Infield single. Here's the rest of the Oriole defense behind Gibson. Hayes in left. Ryan McKenna gets the start in center field. Cedric Mullins a day off. Santander in right. Jorge Mateo and Frazier up the middle. Ramon Urias over at third. Mountcastle in his usual spot at first. And James McCann behind home plate for the Orioles.
Just the third start for Ryan in center this season. Cedric Mullins has played almost every inning in center field this year. Here's Randy Arozarena. That is about as frightening a three-word combination as we have said around these parts the last few years.
Especially the way he's been swinging it lately. How about the numbers on the year? 328, 9 homers.
Tied for third in the American League with those 9 home runs, and there's 94.
Oh.
Gibby's got a little something extra today, and he better against Arozarena, who in a minimum of 150 plate appearances has the highest slugging percentage of any player in Major League history against the Orioles.
372, 15 homers, and 38 RBIs career versus the Orioles. And that's only in 37 games, too.
A ribby a game for Arozarena, who's been on base his last 18. Had that great World Baseball Classic starring for Team Mexico at the plate and notably in the field, and he has carried it over into the regular season and provided that same swagger for Kevin Cash's Rays.
Gibby's got a little bit better velo tonight. Ball still sinking. Gibson's on the mound. There's always a chance for a ground ball double play. The Orioles have turned a lot of ground ball double plays behind Gibson.
Looking for the 11th behind him if they can get it. That's a little too slow to get it. It'll act as a swinging bunt. Gibson throws out Arozarena, and the Rays have runners at second and third with 1 out.
Another really good sinking fastball, and Randy Arozarena just gets the top of it. Gibby bounces off the mound. Look how quick he gets rid of this ball. In and out, didn't even step. See how the Orioles are going to play this defensively. They're going to bring them in. Look like they're going to play back. Concede the first run of the game. Now, Ramon Urias over at third base. He's going to play even with the bag. So you may see him come home. Everybody else will collect the out over at first base.
Here's the struggling Brandon Lau. 28-year-old lefty. Tonight's umpiring crew: Todd Titzner is the crew chief behind home plate. Brian Knight's over at first. Alex Tosi at second. And Tony Randazzo man's the beat at third. Lau just 2 for 29 his last 7 games, but always a threat against the O's. Elevated fastball here has him in an 0-2 hole.
That's that occasional four-seam fastball by Gibson. He will pitch up. About 14% of the time he'll grab the four-seamer and ride it to the top of the zone.
Gibson, in his last start against Kansas City on Wednesday, did not walk a batter and did not strike out a batter for the first time in his professional career. 269th start today. There's a walk already in the first. And now he's got a strikeout.
Boy, when you need it most, and Kyle Gibson needed it. Second and third, only 1 out. One of the best offenses in baseball. You get ahead and you expand the zone. A perfect breaking ball. Starts it right on the inside part of the plate, and watch this thing go down and in and just underneath the bat of Brandon Lau.
That's that new sweeper, though. A little bit more 12-6 action than we typically see on it. And here's the red hot Taylor Walls. 2 down. Ball 1 to Walls. Last season seemed like an automatic out. This year, Walls has slugged .539, 5 homers, 24 games, also has 11 walks. He's been excellent. And Walls yanks a changeup out of play.
Yeah, Walls is the guy that had 8 home runs last year in 142 games. He's got 5 this year in 24 games. And I remember him a lot last year, but he was a defensive replacement is what he was. And they bring him in late in ball games. You talk to anybody from the Rays and they'll tell you he is the best infield defender that they have. So been used mainly last year as a defensive replacement, not so much this year.
Walls to first base, and Kyle Gibson escapes the first inning jam. 2 on, nobody out. 2 in scoring position, 1 out. No runs across. Orioles coming up. James McCann gets another start against a lefty. Ryan McKenna does as well. He's been terrific the last couple of weeks. And a day off for Cedric Mullins. Against a left-hander and one of the best in the game, Baltimore native Shane McClanahan, who begins this game with a 96-mile-per-hour strike.
Yeah, the best the Rays have for sure, and one of the best in the game. 6-0, trying to become only the 3rd Rays starter in history to start the season 7-0. Outstanding year for him last year. 12-8 with a 2.5 ERA. He finished 6th in the Cy Young last year. 166 in the 3rd, punched out 194 last year. And off to the same kind of start this year too.
4 pitches, they're all nasty. 6'1", 200-pounder, 25 or 26 years old a couple of weeks ago, and that curveball slipped out of the hand. It'll be Hayes, Rutschman, and Mountcastle to start. Austin Hayes 1 for 4 the walk yesterday. And the Orioles 12-inning loss to Atlanta, a series where the Orioles won 9-4 in the opener and lost 5-4 on Kevin Pillar's pinch hit 2-run homer in the 8th Saturday and 3-2-12 yesterday morning. That slider is good enough for Todd Tichenor's strike zone, and Hayes is down looking.
Yeah, if he gets this one, could be a short night for the Orioles. And boy, the breaking ball is a good one too. Watch where it starts and where it ends up. Hayes does a nice job of laying off of it because it is about a ball off the inside part of the plate. McClanahan gets the call. That's his slider. He'll throw it about 12% of the time. Pretty big zone so far for Shane McClanahan.
Adley Rutschman had the day off yesterday until the 6th inning.
Well, let's take a look at Shane McClanahan's pitch arsenal. See, the fastball is going to average about 97 miles an hour. He'll use it 43% of the time. Then it's the changeup, curveball, and slider at about 12%. Look at the opponent's batting average off the slider and the curveball, 149 and 130.
The swing and miss rate, that changeup. And the fastball's pretty good too. I mean, you're expecting it's going to be a changeup or something that's going to bend on 0-2.
Well, yeah.
He throws 99.
You got no chance because it was 2 slow ones, right? It was a changeup and a breaking ball to slow the bat down, and he just dots 99 right on the black part of the plate. I don't care who's standing in with that pitch sequence. You got 0 chance.
By Mountcastle. He'll be aggressive and ground one through the middle. The Orioles first base runner Ryan Mountcastle with a 2-out base hit.
Well, Mountie, like he typically does, he loves to attack on the first pitch. 3 for 14 against the Braves was Mountcastle. A good start here against the Rays. Little slider working its way back over the heart of the plate. The big fellow finds the barrel right back up the middle.
Only his 2nd career hit against Shane McClanahan. And he'll bring up the sizzling Anthony Santander.
Sizzling is right.
And a little bit of success against Shane McClanahan as well. Mountcastle was 1 for 15 before that. Santander, a couple of extra base hits and a walk against McClanahan in his career. And Anthony comes into this game riding a stretch of 6 consecutive multi-hit games.
6 consecutive and 7 out of 8 games multi-hits for him. Boy, he has turned it on. Seemed like a week ago he's hitting 210.
Yep.
Now it's up to 264.
Santander, a big rip at the slider.
And the power numbers are starting to come for Santander too. 5 homers, 20 RBIs. Remember, led the Orioles last year in both homers and RBIs.
That ball is hit sharply to the backhand side of Franco. Off the bat at 100, but not well placed, and each team with a first inning 0. Josh Lowe will lead off for Tampa Bay in the second after a 22-pitch inning from Kyle Gibson. And Josh Lowe will lead off with a home run just to the left of the high wall in right field. The Rays' major league leading 72nd homer, and the 7th for Tampa Bay's 25-year-old right fielder Josh Lowe.
7th homer, 20th RBI. Boy, this team can bang it. Hunting the very first pitch, and he got one, 113. Looked like a sinking fastball that never got towards the bottom of the zone, and that's exactly what it is. Typically, Kyle Gibson's trying to get that ball right around knee high down and away, but left it hard of the plate. And Josh Lowe knows exactly what to do with that one.
We saw Josh Lowe opening day last year after just 2 games in 2021. The Rays had high hopes for him. He really didn't deliver. Hit just 2 homers 52 games this season ago. OPS of 627. He spent much of the year in AAA. Well, he has tweaked his swing, and he is what they hoped he would be. 1-2 now to Jose Siri. Great defensive center fielder, very fast, and he's upped his offensive game this year. A little bit of pop in the bat. Siri couldn't hold up, and he knew it. Second strikeout for Gibson.
That's the pitch that Gibson's got to get going tonight. That slider, sweeping slider. There's a really good look at it. See how long it stayed right on the edge of the plate.
One down, Luke Raley. Oh, that one caught James McCann on the way down.
Looked like another slider just kind of working down and in to Luke Raley. He gets a piece of it, and he gets a big piece right there on the inside of the right foot of McCann.
Not for the faint of heart.
This is a Rays team that got out of the gates quickly and won their first 13 games. They've only lost 2 series all year long. Lost a series to the Blue Jays and to the Astros, and that's it. 8-10 in their last 10. Had a good homestand, went 5-1. Their homestand, swept the Pirates, beat the Yankees 2 of 3.
Another strikeout for Gibson. This one's on the changeup. So no strikeouts for Gibson in his last start, and already with 3.
Love this sequence. Sped the bat up with those breaking balls on the inside part of the plate, and then finishes with a really good circle change down the way. Can't do it much better than that.
That's about as good as we've seen the changeup since his last start here against Detroit. Pitch he's been working on all year, trying to get it to fade. This ball is fisted to the right side. Adam Frazier, a terrific play to throw out Francisco Mejia. Rays get a home run from Lowe and the lead. Ben, you had the game yesterday on NBC and Peacock. What stood out to you about this series in Atlanta?
Well, it proved one thing, that the Orioles belong with the top teams in baseball. I mean, all 3 of those games could have gone either way. The Orioles could have very easily swept the Braves. I mean, one game won, a big 7th inning, as you mentioned, and had a lead going into the bottom of the 8th, and Kevin Pillar with a pinch hit 2-run homer. That's what put the Braves on top. Of course, the extra inning game yesterday goes 12 innings. So it just proved to me that the Orioles belong with the best teams in baseball. And I think even though they lost 2 or 3, I think they realize they can compete with everybody.
That was the sentiment coming out of the clubhouse yesterday, as Mateo takes ball 1 from Shane McClanahan. Tyler Wells said, I think it shows that we're up there with the best. Anthony Santander said, personally disappointment, but we played well. We played against a really good team. We're also right now a really good team. Maybe the time for moral victories around here has come and gone, and it was the Orioles' first series loss in 8 series. But they proved to themselves that right now they're everybody as good as Atlanta in a great environment, 3 great crowds. And now they get to try and do it back in front of their home fans against Tampa Bay. It's a fun challenge. It's a tough schedule. We've talked about it a lot. The 22 games in a row against teams with winning records, but it is going to be one heck of an early measuring stick, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, Brian Snitker, the skipper of the Braves, had a lot of good things to say about the Orioles, and he said they are for real. When that comes from the opposing manager, that means a lot. He was impressed with the Orioles. I mean, the Braves are as good a team as you're going to see in baseball. I mean, they can do it all, just like the Rays are. A complete team that can pitch it, very offensive, bang it out of the ballpark, steal bases.
There's a sidewinding changeup, and McClanahan has strikeout number 3.
Well, this is what makes McClanahan so good. You mentioned the swing and miss. This pitch right here is swung and missed 53% of the time. That number just went up. McClanahan's going to do a lot on the inside part of the plate with his fastball and that breaking ball to speed the right-handed bats up. When he gets you thinking about the ball on the inside part of the plate, he can pull the string as well as anybody.
James McCann. What is that? That's a 91-mile-an-hour slider that disappears at the end. It's just crazy. There's the changeup to back it up. So, I mean, you could say this is a slow, fast potential, except that his slow is 91 and 87.
Well, you already saw 99 to punch out Rutschman. That's what kind of velo McClanahan has.
And then he went to 100.
Yeah, how about 100? So he can reach back and give you a little extra. You know, and that's the good news for the Orioles. Everybody says, well, we don't get to draft. We're drafting, I think, 19th overall this year. And people say, you know, we're not going to get a great player like we have in the past. McClanahan was drafted 31st overall. 30 teams passed on this arm right here.
And as you watch him, you sit and wonder why. There's 4 strikeouts in the first 5 outs.
Came in with 51 punch outs. Got 55 now in the year. Just a little backdoor breaking ball, starts it well over in the opposing or the opposite batter's box. Just leaks it back over the inside corner.
So that Adam Frazier. Well, there's another Orioles connection with McClanahan, who was a compensatory pick the Rays got. Free agent compensation. That was because the Rays lost free agent pitcher Alex Cobb to the Orioles. So because the Orioles signed Cobb, the Rays got a comp pick and took McClanahan with it.
Out of South Florida. Put up huge numbers his 3 years at South Florida. Of course, Baltimore born is Shane McClanahan.
Crazy enough, he was the Rays' second pick that draft. Matthew Liberatore went 16th, and then they traded Liberatore in a deal to St. Louis 2 years later that got them Randy Arozarena. So first 2 picks in the draft. One guy you trade for Arozarena, and the other one's this man right here. Maryland Lottery's Fast Play Home Run Riches contestant of the game, Malik Wilson from Silver Spring, has won $500 for being selected. $500 more for every Orioles home run hit tonight. Learn how to be the Fast Play contestant of the game. Have 2 chances to win $50K at mdlottery.com/homerun. Frazier drove in 3 runs Saturday, and the Orioles lost to Atlanta. It's 2 for 9 in the series. And Frazier spoils another 2-strike pitch here.
Yeah, McClanahan, all of his 7 starts this year, he's allowed 2 earned runs or less. 5 quality starts out of 7. That is an outstanding number. Put that in perspective. He's got 5 quality starts. The Orioles staff have 7 on the year.
Frazier hooks another breaking ball foul. 8 pitches deep to Adam Frazier. He's only thrown the same pitch on back-to-back times once in this sequence. And he spikes a fastball to walk Frazier. 9-pitch battle, and Adam Frazier wins it. He's the first Oriole to walk tonight.
Here is the Rays defense behind Shane McClanahan. Randy Arozarena out in left. Jose Siri in center. Josh Lowe in right field. Up the middle, Franco and Lau. Taylor Walls over at third. Luke Raley at first. And Francisco Mejia behind home plate for the Rays.
And I want to say that you've aced the first Lau-Lowe test of the game. Brandon Lau, Josh Lowe. Remember, the Rays had Nathaniel Lowe and Brandon Lau, and they traded him, and we thought we were fine. Then they called up Josh Lowe. 1-1-2, Ramon Urias. Big moment on the road trip came Thursday afternoon at Kansas City. 4 RBIs off the bench, including the go-ahead 2-run single in the 8th. And you look up, and here is Ramon with a .361 on base percentage. That is second best on the roster, behind only Adley Rutschman.
Yeah, a little bit of a slow start for him, but as of late, he's been getting it going. 3 for 9, those 5 RBIs against Kansas City. Picked up 3 base hits against the Braves.
I love that. Ramon just appealed himself to first and got the call of no swing.
Pretty confident, wasn't he? Orioles doing a good job here trying to get that pitch count up. McClanahan now at 36 here in the second inning.
Ramon in a hitter's count. And Ramon takes ball 4. Consecutive walks handed out by Shane McClanahan.
McClanahan came in with 16 walks and 40 innings of work. This is just how you beat him. But it almost feels like it almost takes a homer to beat him, because he's just not going to allow a bunch of base hits. But you get a guy on and get lucky and get one swing, you can beat him. Does give up a few home runs from time to time. 19 home runs he gave up last year at 166. They've been better this year. Only 4 so far this year, coming in 40 innings of work.
Ball 1 to Ryan McKenna, and you saw the numbers there. After a slow start that included that key error in Boston, McKenna's glove has been good, and his bat has been maybe even better. And they have a lot of confidence in Ryan McKenna's bat against lefties right now in particular.
Well, he had a really good series against the Braves. Only got 6 at bats, but he collected 3 hits in those 6 at bats. You go back 2 series ago against the Tigers, he was 3 for 10 with a homer and 3 RBIs. McClanahan had a little bit of trouble. Boy, I tell you what, if you're Ryan McKenna right now, you've got to sit on the fastball. 2-0 count.
Now, do you think he'll get a fastball here?
I don't know. I don't think so. McClanahan is known for getting in these situations and going to that really good pitch of his, which is that changeup.
But you sit on it anyway. You just 2-0 count.
I think shot. Because you're in your count, you can sit one or the other. If you want to sit changeup, you can. Be committed to it and take the fastball. But I like sitting on fastball here and going to get it if it's the one you want, and being able to lay off everything else.
It was a fastball, and he was a little in front of it.
I don't mind that. I mean, he got the head out expecting fastball. He got one just a little bit too far out in front of it.
So now, how does the mindset change 2-1?
I don't know if it changes. I think I'm still with a 2-1 count. Counts in my favor. Still looking fastball.
Got it, popped it up. Short right field, Lowe is going to make the catch. And the Orioles strand a pair against McClanahan. 1-0.
About a car. I figured it was empty, but when I got over there, there was an individual in the car. Was asking if anybody had called 911. Everyone was still just videotaping, so it was just time to jump in and act. and I'm just glad I was able to help him.
Now, to save someone who's drowning is one thing, but to save someone who's drowning in the car is something completely different. Did you have a plan?
No, I jumped in, lost my hat and my phone at that point, but once I got to the car, I couldn't even break the window, and I realized I had to switch around and get on the hood, so just kind of went with the paces and wanted to help and made the plan from there.
So you didn't even think about it, just jumped into the inner harbor?
Exactly, and it didn't really have time.
You said everyone was filming, no one was calling 911 or anything?
There were a few individuals, once I got in the water, that were helping guide us, helping with the life raft and such, but besides that, it was a lot of filming. A few kids tried to toss me some things to break the window, so, shoot out to them.
Now, the humility is even more impressive of Ben and Kevin, because Tom had a chance to have his medal on for this, and he didn't want to. You don't understand why people are making a big deal of you, do you?
No, I'm glad I was able to help somebody, but people calling me a hero, there are people who do more than that every single day, and I think we need to honor those real heroes that do this day in and day out. I'm glad I could help.
How long did you serve in the Army?
I was in for 8 years.
What did you do in the Army?
I was a food specialist and a convoy specialist.
Well, the Baltimore Orioles are donating a check in your honor of your favorite charity. Thank you very much for what you did. Now back to you, Kevin and Ben. $5,000, by the way. Back to you, Kevin and Ben.
Rob, I think if Tom doesn't want to say it, we'll say it. He is a hero.
He is.
That is extraordinary.
What a story that is.
His service not only to our country, but his service that day to save someone's life. That's hard to imagine, and the humility is what stands out from up here. So thank you, Rob, for that. Thank you, Tom, for everything he's done, for being here. And he may be humble about it. We can recognize the extraordinary work that he's done, though. Great to host Tom tonight, part of our Birdland Community Heroes program here at Camden Yards.
The one guy that wasn't standing around videoing.
That's right.
I mean, I think if a car goes in the water, I'm not going to get my video camera out.
I've seen a flyout from Diaz, ground out from Franco to start this inning. Kyle Gibson would like a nice quick inning here against the Rays' top three.
Well, he's off to a good start.
I don't know what's a more dangerous object in the hand there. Now we know. Base hit Arozarena. The helmet, as it typically does, is removed from the head forcibly at some point around the base paths, and Randy Arozarena 1 for 2.
Yeah, he just doesn't miss, especially against the Orioles. He does not miss those pitches. You leave something up, out, over the plate, and Randy Arozarena is going to hit it hard somewhere. And he's done that all year long.
Ray's third hit, and now a good changeup. This is the best changeup we've seen in a few starts from Kyle Gibson.
Yeah, it's down, and it's got that late movement down and away from the left-handed bats.
Had a bunch of strikeouts on it, swings and misses on it his second start of the year in Texas, but he didn't feel like it was a good changeup, even though he got results. Working hard to get that fade in bullpen sessions, and it is working tonight. 3 good innings for Gibson. Top of the Orioles order coming up. Years, but straightened out his swing a little bit. Barrel of the bat through the zone a little longer. And Shane McClanahan could do that too. He can dot in a changeup, a slider, but Hayes is going to take aim at one of the hardest fastballs in Major League Baseball tonight. And maybe that's why he hasn't seen one so far. Rutschman and Mountcastle to follow, and his first of 3 between the O's and Rays. There's the first fastball Austin sees, and he takes it. Got a curveball and popped it into right. Experience the first ever sports lounge at Oriole Park at the all-new Superbook Bar and Restaurant on Utah Street. The Superbook Bar and Restaurant provides fans with first-rate food and beverage and a state-of-the-art viewing experience featuring newly installed TVs, odds boards, sports tickers, and a 150-inch direct view LED wall. Celebrate before, during, and after every game at the Superbook Bar and Restaurant. Adley Rutschman, rare first pitch swing.
Yeah, first 0 for series that I can remember in a while for Rutschman. 0 for 8 against the Braves.
Did have 4 walks in there, but now he is 0 for his last 15. Again, walks in that time, but been a few games since Adley's last hit. Last one of those came on Wednesday against Kansas City in the 6th inning. And Rutschman out on a foul tip here, so McClanahan has struck him out on a fastball low at 99 and a fastball up at 99.
Yeah, slowed the bat again and right to the top of the zone is McClanahan. He's doing a very good job of changing speeds. Backdoor breaking ball, little change ups, and he can reach back and give you 99 to 100 when he needs to.
And Mountcastle sees one a little bit low. And his 15-game on base streak snapped yesterday, 0 for 5. Started a new one with a first inning single. Didn't like it, but it looked like a strike. 1-2. Boy, oh boy. Shane continues his McMastery of the Oriole bats. Oriole Park is home to baseball once again for the first time in the month of May. Orioles' first game here since 12 days ago, Wednesday, April the 26th.
And home of the 3rd best team in baseball. How about that?
Tampa Bay, Atlanta, Baltimore. Ball on a strike. Taylor Walls, the Rays' number 5 hitter against Kyle Gibson, who did not strike out a batter against Kansas City on Wednesday and already has 3 strikeouts against maybe the big league's best offense. What are you seeing so far with Kyle?
Well, you mentioned the changeup. I think the changeup's been as good as we've seen it in probably 3 or 4 starts. Doing a pretty good job of sinking the ball down in the way of the left-handers and landing some breaking balls, and the changeup's been really good. And getting those ground balls. And when he's on his game, that's what he's getting, his ground ball. And there's another really good changeup. See the usage tonight. Sinker still leads the way about 28% of the time, but there's your changeup 23% of the time, which is up just a little bit. Typically he throws it about 18% of the time, but I think he's recognizing it's really good tonight, so a little more usage.
Will he go back to it? He will, and Walls lays off. Rays have swung at 7 changeups, missed 3, only put 1 in play. A payoff here for Taylor Walls. And Walls strikes out on another changeup. It is dancing.
Back-to-back changeups. How about this one? 3-2 count. Got to throw a strike, and perfectly done by Kyle Gibson.
And look at the last 3 starts. He had the swing and miss pitch going against Detroit April the 22nd. April 27th, 10 whiffs. Only one swing and miss 5 days ago against Kansas City on 40 swings. And with that last changeup to strike out Walls, Gibson now has 9 swings and misses tonight on 26 swings.
Yeah, it was a little bit of an odd start. Ended up having his worst outing of the year. Gave up 6 earned runs in 6 2/3, but he only given up 2 runs through 6 against the Royals. But the 7th inning was not the same.
Talked to Kyle after the start. It was such a quick game. Zach Greinke was through 5 innings on 44 pitches, and Kyle said, normally I go to the dugout, I go through my scouting report for the next inning, and then with 2 outs I'll get up and stretch and loosen up. He said I was doing the report and stretching at the same time.
You hardly had time to sit down the way Greinke was throwing the ball.
I mean, he's thrown in 275 big league games. He was not sure he'd ever thrown in a game like that. Nearly 1,550 big league innings. 1-2 for Josh Lowe. Lowe takes the changeup. Josh Lowe belted a sinker to the left of the high wall and right for a home run in the 2nd. Hasn't seen anything hard here. And he won't. A squibber. Mateo, a low throw. Wow, that didn't seem to come out of Mateo's hand cleanly. Mountcastle thankfully picked it.
Boy, Josh Lowe can get down the line too. Routine ground ball. Mateo's throw a little bit low, but a nice finish on the back end by Mountcastle. We'll watch the transfer. It looked fine, but just short hopped it over there. But mounting right off the dirt.
Two down. Here's Siri. Struck out on a sweeper his first time. Do you feel okay with us going full time to the term sweeper here? What's your ruling now that we're a month into the sweeper craze?
I'm still, well, Gibson calls it a slider. He said, I know everybody's calling it a sweeper, but he said it's a slider for me. He said, I just call it my slider. He said, I just changed the grip a little bit, and it's out of my hand a little bit differently than what it was in previous years.
That was a cutter, and that's a lineout. And that's a 1-2-3 inning for a very good Kyle Gibson. Volunteers by donating tickets to local organizations. 1-0 game. And Anthony Santander fouls a slider off his leg to begin the bottom of the 4th. Shane McClanahan has been typically really, really good.
Yeah, 5-0 record, 2.45 ERA in his 7 starts versus the Orioles in his career. But it feels like he's done that to everybody. Broke into the scene back in 2021 was his rookie year. Won 10 games. Finished 7th in the Rookie of the Year voting that year.
Remember, McClanahan is one of a very small number of players to make his debut in the postseason before ever pitching in a regular season game.
Well, this is your Nissan StatCast. We'll take a look at Santander's hits in the month of May. All 12 of them. 7 singles, a couple of doubles, 3 long balls, hitting .444. Of course, 6 straight multi-hit games, 7 of 8 for Santander. At Nissan, we make cars that thrill. Experience the thrill for yourself today. Shop Nissan at USA.com.
Santander takes time. This will be the 6th pitch here, which means he's 10 away from the 16 pitch epic we saw on Tuesday night. Anthony just did something which he said he didn't do in that 16 pitch at bat Tuesday against Kansas City and Taylor Clark, which took time. There was an injury delay early in the at bat. He kind of just forgot he hadn't taken time. He said now with 15 seconds in between pitches. It's hard to find a moment to catch your breath, and he was thinking in between pitches, wondering if he had called time, and he said, I don't have time to really think about it enough. Just kept going. That is high, no swing, and Santander has the Orioles' third walk.
Yeah, and the first time tonight the Orioles have got the leadoff runner on. Really good at bat by Santander. McClanahan goes with that breaking ball, but it's just above the zone. So a good start for the Orioles here in the bottom of the fourth.
There's Jorge Mateo, who lays down a bunt. McClanahan slips. McClanahan is down. The Orioles have 2 runners on, nobody out. Good to see Shane McClanahan up on his feet. Obviously, he'll be checked out because that looked like a potentially devastating moment when you have a knee slipping under you. You see him grab it right there.
Yeah, the Rays. Clevenger yesterday, I don't know if you saw it, but Clevenger yesterday in a rundown against the Yankees got involved. One of their relief pitchers got involved in a rundown and hurt his knee, and word is he may go on the IL. And boy, that could have been devastating for the Rays.
I mean,
McClanahan says he's okay. Doesn't even want a warm-up toss.
Look, I don't want to over-dramatize it here because the Rays are 28-7, but a play like that with a pitcher like this, you probably see your season flash before your eyes if you're Kevin Cash.
Yeah.
Because the Rays, as good as they are, their starting rotation's a little bit thin right now. So he says he's okay. And the good news for the Orioles, now they could just celebrate that bunt single. 2 on, nobody out for James McCann.
Well, he knew he had to go because Mateo can get down the line. Those spikes just came right out from underneath him.
McCann drills it down the line, but he's out in front. He was all over that fastball.
I like that too. Fastball count, sitting fastball, get the head out and go get it, big fella. He just couldn't keep it fair.
Got another fastball, so that's a confident pitch.
Yeah, we've not seen McClanahan do that a whole lot. Back-to-back same pitches tonight. Yeah, watch out for the changeup now. After a couple of heaters, especially that last one on the inside part of the plate. We'll see how much confidence McClanahan has in that changeup right now. Not much.
Boy, that's really interesting. 3 straight fastballs.
And you could almost read the lips of Kevin Cash there asking pitching coach. You could read his lips. He said changeup. Where's the changeup?
Kyle Snyder shaking his head. For a slider into left. Arozarena started back and he made the catch. Throw is late at second on the first out of the inning. McClanahan beats McCann.
Randy Arozarena now, he can do it on both sides of the ball. He can go get it. He can throw too. I thought this ball had a chance off the bat, but Randy Arozarena easily runs that one down. First out of the inning.
So now Frazier with the double play, a possibility. Another fastball. 9-pitch walk in the second for Adam.
Well, Frazier's been sneaky good as of late. You look at the overall numbers, they aren't great. I mean, the home runs, as many home runs as what he hit the entire year last year, but batting average at 240. But he's had some really big hits as of late. And you mentioned it earlier, the Orioles really struggled in Atlanta with runners in scoring position. Against the Royals, they had their very best series of the year. 15 for 34. They hit 441 against the Royals at runners in scoring position, but only 152 against the Braves, their worst runners in scoring position of the season.
Frazier, punch shot, left side, and Franco's
Double
going to
up.
end the inning. Santander took a gamble, and he lost it. As Wander Franco tracks down the second out and then picks up the third. Whoa.
Oh, wow.
Krabs and the mallet. It's about to get real messy over there. Hopefully there's
That looked really good.
a stack of newspapers to cover all the Old Bay that'll be dripping off out on the rooftop bar. We got to get out there. We got to get out to the roof deck and call a game while smashing crabs.
That little ledge right there.
Steve Baldwin
right at the
saying,
bottom
come
of
on,
screen.
get
Yeah.
the shot. Hold your crabs high.
Get your crabs and your mallets up.
To first, a hot shot. Now Castle's had a busy night. He feeds Gibson, and Luke Raley's 0 for 2. Those fans join us for Early Bird Saturdays at Camden Yards. Gates open 2 hours before every Saturday home game's first pitch. Happy hour, live music, Utah Street, the roof deck with the crabs and the mallets and the things, Legends Park and more. And great deals at Orioles.com/earlybird.
There you go. Start them young.
Start with the Orioles teddy bear, then you go on to the crabs. Ball 1-2. Francisco Mejia, number 9 hitter. Kyle Gibson's retired 5 in a row, and since the home run from Josh Lowe, 10 of 11. The only exception is a Randy Arozarena single.
Yeah, and he's leaning hard off speed this time through the lineup.
Mejia grounded out to second his first time. Switch hitting catcher. A lot of ground balls to the right side in this game.
A lot of changeups to the left-handers. That percentage of usage on that changeup is way up from what we've seen it. But I feel like it's been his best pitch tonight.
Yeah. And it's been by far his most thrown pitch. McCann wants it away. And a pitch is smoked. Another one to first, and Mountcastle continues what is a night of hard ground ball contact at him. 3-1 for Raley and Mejia both.
I mean, he's been positioned perfectly on just about every one of them. A couple of rockets right to him. Former shortstop, former third baseman in the minor leagues. And that's an easy play for him. Nice toss over to Gibson covering first base.
Mounty's had a nice night scooping throws and scooping ground balls. Third time through the order for Yandy Diaz. I don't know if Mounty's going to get to this one. It is a fair ball on the line. And Diaz will hold at first. Swept in a single. And Yandy Diaz 1 for 2 with a walk.
Diaz gets this one just off and nobody out there. And this ball looked like it actually hit right on the line.
Well, it's a little bloop, but it brings up a guy who can blast. Wander Franco 20 extra base hits.
Franco just 22 years old. Was hurt a ton last year for the Rays. A couple of inches off the outside part. Gibby will take it. How many off-speed pitches? It feels like that's like every pitch this inning has been an off-speed pitch between the breaking ball and the changeup. Has he thrown a fastball? Going right back out there again.
He has thrown one fastball and 11 pitches this inning. Guess the first one to Franco is
He's kind of got the east-west thing going, right? He's bringing the breaking ball down and in and running the changeup down and away.
So if you're the Rays, I'll point to you adjust to that.
It's hard to cover both of them, you know, if he throws them where he wants to throw them. Because one's on the inside part of the plate, the other one's on the outside part of the plate. See McCann's rocking to the outside part. He wants this one off the outside edge.
Didn't get it there, and Franco with a punch shot into left instead. So two out hits for the Rays. And now it gets really dangerous with Randy Arozarena.
Yeah, that one was hit too. 106 off the bat. The Rays have been very good this year in this situation. Runners in scoring position. Second best in Major League Baseball. He hit 289 runners in scoring position. Boy, this offense is taking a huge. You talk about the Orioles uptick in offense, and it's really good. About 1.3, 1.4 more runs per game this year than last year. The Rays only averaged 4.1 last year, 6.4 this year, so 2.3 runs per game better offensively. That is a monster jump.
And here's Arozarena, who has owned the Orioles like nobody has owned the Orioles before. 37 career games against the O's, 38 RBIs. Nice pick by McCann to keep the runners where they are.
Well, James McCann has done everything the Orioles hoped that he would do for them. He's been outstanding behind the plate, calls a good game, and as of late, some big base hits too.
Two and 0. Another one in the dirt. Does this look like a pitch around to you?
It looks like it. It looks like to me that Gibson doesn't want anything to do with Randy Arozarena here. I mean, Lau sitting in the on-deck circle hitting 204 for the year.
Be careful here. Yeah, he really was.
Yeah.
How many 3-0 changeups do you ever see?
Well, clearly this is the guy he wanted to pitch to. Even with the bases loaded, he wanted to face Brandon Lau. Chris Holt's going to jog out from that Oriole dugout for a quick chat with his starting pitcher.
So this all started with 2 out, nobody on. What's been another fairly pitch efficient day for Gibson. That's good because the Orioles used 5 relievers yesterday. What's not good is the bases are loaded here in the 5th inning when Brandon Lau, who is struggling, but has a chance to break this game open.
Yeah, both of these bullpens have been used a good bit as of late. Jason Adam, one of the best relievers the Rays have. He's probably down today. He's pitched 3 of the last 4 days. The Rays also had an extra inning game yesterday.
Lau 3 for 3 with the bases loaded this year. And that fastball sails high. Brandon Lau, the former Maryland Terrapin. The average is low, but the power numbers are high. 7 home runs. Smacked foul, 1-1.
Yeah, Gibson's last start wasn't a great one for him, but before that, when he got himself in these situations, runners in scoring position, he was one of the best in the league. 2 for 26 he was with runners in scoring position, opposing batting average. Now the Royals got to him a little bit. That number went up, but he's been really good this year, making some big pitches when he had traffic.
1-0 in the 5th. 3 on, 2 out. Now takes a cutter inside. Two and 1. Oh, helped him out. 2-2.
Going to his best pitch, and that best pitch has been the changeup tonight. Slider in to speed the bat up, changeup away, 2-2 count, bases loaded, 2 out.
Fans are rising in a pivotal moment. And a pop up from Loud. Into short right. Santander is there. And Gibson wins the moment. He pumps his fist in his glove as he leaves the bases loaded with Rays. A customized player card graphic and pictures out here on the field. To find out how you can get involved with the program, visit Orioles.com/RBI. Bottom of the 5th inning. Good game again. Here we are from Camden Yards. It's a tremendous night. One of the best nights of the year for baseball. And Kyle Gibson and Shane McClanahan are locked in a dandy of a duel. Gibson 75 pitches through 5. McClanahan threw 70 through 4. And the Orioles and the Rays have both had chances. Tampa Bay is stranded 6 and Baltimore is stranded 4. Three and 1 now to Ramon Urias, who walked his first time up. Ryan McKenna's next, then Austin Hayes. 8-9-1 in the Oriole order. And Ramon is walked for a second time.
Boy, back-to-back innings now. The leadoff guy has reached for the Orioles. Time to push across a run or two. McClanahan at 75 pitches now. With a long inning here, the Orioles could push him out of the game. The Rays are starting to move around and stretching their bullpen.
Second 2-walk game of the season for Urias. Ryan McKenna tries to bunt. Not easy to aim it against Shane McClanahan, but there is a cavern on that right side if you can.
Yeah, he's got that hard slider he can bore right in on the hands of the right-handers. Tough pitch to bunt.
Ryan flight out to right with 2 on 2 out in the second. Changeup hangs in the zone for strike 2. Popped up right side. And Raley just totally lost him. Not sure he had a play anyway. See him pointing at the sky.
Yeah, the sky, you know, it's right getting about dark. Those balls are hard to pick up with the sky the way it is right now. Just enough white up there, blends in with the ball.
Ground ball to shortstop Franco. Nice turn. And the Rays get 2 out of it. Franco has been awesome at shortstop all season long, and he's made 2 great plays tonight.
Yeah, this is really good. He'll range towards third base, but all in one motion right across his body. A perfect feed over to Lau, who quickly turns it over to Raley.
Rays are the best pitching team in the league by ERA. They are the second best offensive team in the league by runs scored. And they are the 7th best defensive team by outs above average. Austin Hayes bangs one through the 5.5 hole. Base hit Hayes, the Orioles' third. Grab your $10 Utah Street bleacher seats as the Orioles take on the Rays tomorrow and Wednesday nights at 6:35. Bleacher seats feature a great view of center field, close to the excitement of Utah Street. Orioles.com/tickets to claim yours today. There they are in right center field. Hoping Adley Rutschman will hit a ball their way. Rutschman will take one in the sand instead. So 0 for his last 16. Anything that stands out to you in that stretch?
No, I feel like his timing's a little bit off. He's been late on some fastballs. You're getting that funk where you're late on fastballs, early on the off-speed pitch.
That's popped up by Rutschman in the direction of the bleachers, but not quite there. 5 shutout innings for Shane McClanahan. A good one on our hands between the 2 best in the AL. Most fired up Kyle Gibson's been since he had water in his mouth for 3 full minutes on Friday night. And a foul tip from Taylor Walls here out of the glove of McCann. So pitch usage tonight. Compare that to the season, Ben. He's thrown his changeup on the year 18% of the time. He has about doubled that this evening.
Yeah, I think he recognized pretty early that that was his best pitch. He is using. There's a good fastball, which he has not thrown many fastballs the last couple innings. Kyle Gibson on the year now. Opposing hitters are 5 for 35 with runners in scoring position. There's your changeup usage tonight. 63% strike rate, 27% whiff rate. Another good fastball right in on the hands.
And Walls is 0 for 3. Gibson's retired the leadoff man 4 innings in a row. He worked on his delivery this spring training to make it a little more athletic, moving down the mound. And he had a start against Pittsburgh, middle of the spring, March 19th, where he said, I have to go back and watch tapes to see when the changeup felt that good. It's come and gone this year. There's another really good one. And in the game against Detroit, he struck out 11. It was good, but really the sweeper was the big pitch that night, sweeping slider.
And he's done enough work with that sweeping slider on the inside part of the plate to left-handers to be able to get to his changeup.
Josh Lowe, the home run hitter, back in the second. The only run of this game.
If he goes right back to his changeup. He's been able to land that changeup in these counts here the last couple of innings.
One cutter there.
There's skipper Brandon Hyde. Really pleased with the way the Orioles played against the Braves.
Got to get a pitch here from McCann. 2-1.
Just in time.
Wow, that pitch had some really late movement. That slider popped into center, and McKenna's got another out. Orioles baseball on MASN is brought to you by PNC Bank, helping to make a difference. And by Maryland Saves. Maryland Saves, the free and easy retirement savings program for small businesses. 84 pitches, 5 2/3. Jose Siri.
Boy, still carrying some good velo here into the 6th inning. 94 by Gibson. Fastball's only averaged 92 for the year.
All of his pitches are up tonight, velocity wise. Wow.
You know, Tyler Wells had a better fastball yesterday, too. I don't know if you watched much of the game, but he was 95 a couple times, 96. We don't normally see that from Tyler Wells. What an outstanding slider. Just down and away after a 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
You think I was going to miss you on national TV? I watched all the game. Siri, center field, hit well. McKenna chases it, and McKenna catches it right near the wall. And Ryan has a put out on all 3 batters in the inning. This one the nicest.
Go get it, kid. An outstanding drop stick. McKenna right up against the warning track in the wall. We're still 1-0.
Call of Duty precision strike.
That's right.
This year it's the Waterworks, and tonight the Orioles haven't been able to celebrate much. 3 hits, all singles, 4 walks, no runs against Shane McClanahan, who struck out 6. Still a 1-0 game in the first meeting between the Rays and O's this season. The top 2 records in the American League as of May the 8th. Tampa Bay, a baseball best 28-7, and Baltimore 22-12.
Shane McClanahan up to 86 pitches now.
And his 87th twists Mountcastle all out of sorts.
Boy, this is some nasty action right here. Watch where this ball starts and where it ends up. I mean, some really good movement just from the edge of the plate to about 10 inches off the outside corner. 87 pitches. 3 ground outs, 6 fly outs, 7 punch outs. That looked like Colin Poche. And they're getting heated up in that Rays bullpen. Kevin Cash, skipper of the Braves.
Well, Anthony Santander trying to do what he did against Shane McClanahan last season.
Yeah, last season right here at Camden Yards, July 26th, a long ball. Well out into the Oriole bullpen.
McClanahan's 5-0 in 7 starts against the Orioles, but that was a game the Orioles came back to win. Orias hit a big home run in the 8th in that game off Poche. McClanahan went 7 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, and then Colin Poche gave up 3 runs in the lead in the 8th. Santander left field deep. This ball is off the fence. Anthony was watching it. He's got to hustle to get to second, and he does. Thank goodness. It is
the sprinklers on. 11th double of the year, and you're right. He thought he had number 6 home runs. But then he said, oh no, there's the new wall out there. I better go, and go he went. Boy, nice job. There's that slider trying to get in on the hands, but Santander gets his hands in tight and just powers it right off the wall. Rosarena with a good throw would have got Santander. 108 off the bat. Orioles 0 for 3 tonight. Runners in scoring position.
And Mateo can tie it with a hit. Would have been a home run in the other 29 parks, so you understand why Anthony watched it, but not here. A little 1 for 30 job. McClanahan catches a break. Mateo to right field. Still going down the line and foul.
The Orioles so close in this inning. Just couldn't quite keep it fair.
Boy, they have had opportunities. McClanahan has been great, but they have had some big chances. And Mateo to first. Awkward backspin there, but right to the glove of Raley. 2 down as Santander boogies to third. And it'll be up to McCann against McClanahan, and here comes Kyle Snyder out of the Rays dugout. Tampa Bay pitching coach will have a chat with starter before a Mac on Mac matchup.
McCann punched out looking his first time, flew out to left his second at bat.
Anthony's talking to the Rays bench. Harold Ramirez on the front step.
How about that blue hair? What do you think about that? You would look good, KB, in some blue hair.
You think so?
Yeah, I think you should try it.
How about orange hair?
Blue and orange.
There you go, Syracuse colors. McCann can't hold up. You ever dye your hair?
No, I haven't.
You took longer to answer though than I thought.
I had to think about it for a second.
2-0. Trevor Kelly's up in the bullpen now. Gibson trying to stay loose with 2 outs.
Well, this is when if you're James McCann, you're sitting on the pitch here. You can pick whatever you want to sit on. Change up, fastball, it doesn't matter. Just commit to it.
Got a slider. So 100th pitch coming. I mean, you'd be happy to get Shane McClanahan out of the game in the 6th or after 6, but you'd like to get something out of it. And McCann yanks it. Change up.
McClanahan just does not make many mistakes at all. I mean, it's elite stuff, and he stays out of the middle part. The only time he's in the middle, it feels like when he rears back for a little bit extra and elevates that 4-seam fastball towards the top. But he's been really good with changeup away and slider in.
And McCann sees a changeup down and in.
That's a good take, too. A really good take.
James McCann has 10 hits as an Oriole. If he can find the 11th, it would be the biggest of them all. McCann grounds one to short. Franco's got it cleanly, and the Rays are out of the inning after the Santander wall ball. He's stranded at third. We're stranded at 1-0.
Show presented by PNC. After the game, Orioles baseball with Kevin Brown and Ben McDonald now.
Yeah,
Rob, I got to tell you, Rob, you're looking good. Rob's looking snazzy, isn't he?
Much snazzier than us. But that's always the case with Rob.
You don't like our polos?
I like our polos, but Rob is always snazzier than us. I'm not going to try to make myself into a dresser. I'm not. Good news, as Rob was talking there, was we saw Shane McClanahan get the congratulatory handshake, so his night's going to be over. Kyle Gibson's, however, is not. And a good cutter against Luke Raley, the Rays' number 8 hitter.
Yeah, Gibby would love to get through 7. Brian Baker getting heated up in that Oriole bullpen.
Raley, a strikeout and a ground out. Mejia to follow. Then Yandy Diaz. Wonder if Baker would be for the righty Diaz. The way Gibson stuff has played to lefties tonight.
Yeah, whatever adjustment he made with that changeup, he needs to keep that feeling for the rest of the year, because that changeup has been outstanding.
Cutter up and in. Can you quantify what it's like when you have a changeup like that?
I think it's just, those off-speed pitches, especially that circle change or field pitches. And, he probably had a pretty good one in the bullpen warm-up now. He'll tell you he worked really hard. He's been working really hard in between his starts.
Rayleigh jam shot. Got an inside cutter, hit it softly, but it finds green grass for a leadoff Tampa Bay hit in the 7th. And that's going to be the end of the night after 93 pitches and 6+ innings for Kyle Gibson. I know he struck out 11 against Detroit, but considering the opponent, this may be his best start as an Orioles so far. And he leaves in a 1-0 game in the 7th inning.
Was for the big right-hander. Pitched out of a jam in the first inning. He had that slider going early. Boy, and then that was the one mistake he made, a fastball up in his zone with Josh Lowe. That was Lowe's 7th homer of the year. Then he went to work. Sweeping slider there, and Siri goes down. Boy, that changeup was outstanding from about the 2nd inning on, and he used it a bunch for a lot of his big outs. And that was the big jam right there. Bases loaded, 2 outs on a 2-2 count. He got a nice pop-up out to Santander. So time for your Jiffy Lube pitching change. Jiffy Lube for quick, convenient oil changes. Now we do services for brakes, batteries, and tires, oil changes, and more. Now that's a job for Jiffy, and it's a job for Brian Baker now. 1 on and nobody out. Take a look at Baker's numbers on the season, making his 18th appearance. He has been busy, but an outstanding ERA 2.1, 22 punch-outs, and 16 1/3, and opponents only hitting 148 off the right-hander, Baker.
Oh, Baker slipped. And that's going to be a wild pitch to Mejia. Got his spike caught, it looked like, which we saw happen to Spencer Strider on Saturday. Now Strider didn't throw it and took a balk. Baker does throw it.
Yeah, that front spike right there kind of slips. What happened is the back leg slips off the rubber. Pitchers like to put their right leg or their back leg right up against the rubber, and it slips. And you got to throw it. If you don't throw it, it's a balk. You get second base anyway, but you want to throw it. But hopefully you bounce it and you keep it in front. He wasn't able to.
So wild pitch, 2-0. And Baker misfires to Mejia. '18th game, he came in 2 off the American League lead. James McCann may need a new PitchCom receiver. Baker, in fact, is now 1 game off the major league lead, depending on if some of the other pitchers have thrown tonight. There's Ryan Klimick, pitching strategy coach. Yes, put our faith in the robots.
Dead battery. They bring him another one. It appears to have a dead battery.
All right, take 2 from Ryan.
And this is the worst thing that happened to Brian Baker. He's got nobody to play catch with.
He should just start throwing with Jorge Mateo. I can't wait until the inevitable scandal when some team hacks into the PitchCom receiver. Somebody's got like a clear tiny earpiece in.
Sure. That was always a concern when they first went to this thing, is could somebody tap into it somehow?
All right, new receiver, and Baker throws ball 4. So the 8 and the 9 hitters reach. And the Orioles are going to pitch to Yandy Diaz at the top of the Tampa Bay lineup. I think McCann is still having trouble. He just put his glove to his ear again. This is really not a time, if there ever is, where you'd want to go to old school signs with a runner on second. They're going to keep trying the pitch count. After a 4-pitch walk to Mejia. That was apparently not a strike for Todd Titchener. And here comes Chris Holt. Missed the glove, even though it hit the spot.
Well, that's one of those situations, you know, where you throw a lot of balls and you get one right around the plate that could be called a strike. And you don't get it. Boy, Baker's got himself in a tough situation here. First and second and nobody out. Right to the top of this Rays lineup. It's a lineup that has been extremely offensive this year.
Brian Baker, 15 scoreless appearances in a row until Monday. Gave up a run against Atlanta. Diaz is saying, where was that? And it was on the inside corner is the answer.
Titchener says, oh, yes, it was. Well, one of those two have to be a strike, right? One of the two. Oh.
Three and 1 to Diaz, American League leader in on-base percentage. Ball 4. Baker has walked 2. And now this is rather uncomfortable. The beleaguered Orioles bullpen facing Wander Franco with the bases loaded, nobody out, and Keegan Aiken quickly getting hot. Kyle Gibson on a wing and a prayer in the bullpen right now. Here's Franco. Wow, just a little floaty ball in there.
That's that changeup of Baker's, and it varies in speed. It could be 72, it could be 80. Just whatever he feels like that night. But at least he's able to land it for a strike.
And he dropped the ball on the way back. Couple of hits for the uber talented Franco. That one is picked by McCann.
McCann's been really good. Right back to that changeup again. This one down and in, and watch McCann. No time to get in front of it, just picks it on the backhand side.
One and one. Franco uncorks it. McKenna will flag it down. Raley's got a tag from third. Mejia goes to third. Diaz to second, and he is out there. It's a double play. A run does score. The Orioles turn 2. Kevin Cash is waiting to see if this is challengeable at second, and he will call for a challenge.
Boy, I love this by Mateo. Really realize he can't get the guy over at third. Frazier's on the bag. There's the tag of Diaz. Is it in time, though?
We're going to find out. Right now, it's both a sacrifice fly and a double play. Everybody's looking up at the scoreboard right now, but this not a great angle for the scoreboard yet, so the scoreboard is not showing a replay.
Well, Diaz was a little bit late breaking because he's got to make sure the runner at third or at second was going to third.
It looked like it was a high tag from Frazier, which may have been good because he got him on the upper body, but we'll find out if it was in time. It's an RBI for Franco either way. Get to listen to some sweet 70s disco music.
I'll take a look at it. We'll see what we got. Mateo with a quick throw to Frazier. Boy, it's hard to tell with that one.
Let's find out.
They lose their challenge.
Call on the field stands. And a significant moment there. Double play. 8-6-4. McKenna will be credited with his first outfield assist of the year. And the Orioles get the second out, though they give up the second run.
Here you go again. Randy Arozarena, first base open. Do you pitch to him again, or do you face Lau on deck?
I guess you pitch to him.
Pitch to him there. Slider right down the heart.
So it's Baker versus Arozarena, or probably Aiken versus Lau. So would you pitch to him here?
Man, just the history and how he has hit this year, I don't know. Now, Brian Baker's not one to give in to anybody. The only thing about Baker, he is going to go after him.
Like that.
Yeah, if it's his decision, he's going after him.
If it was up to Brian Baker and you plopped him into 1927, he wouldn't intentionally walk Babe Ruth or Lou Gehrig.
Or Gary.
Gave him a fastball in the zone. You're going to get the Rays bullpen for the last 6 to 9 outs. They're down a couple of key arms. Baker trying to keep it at 2. That's out of play.
Well, this would be huge for Baker and the Orioles here. I know you gave up 1, but a bases loaded, no out situation. You only give up 1.
To third, Urias to first, got him. So the Orioles only do give up 1. 2-0 at the stretch.
Well, the night is complete for Shane McClanahan. Another outstanding effort by him. That is 8 consecutive starts. He has allowed 2 earned runs or less, this time none. Did walk 4, punched out 7, and in line to win his 7th game of the year. Now it's time for Colin Poche making his 16th appearance. He's been outstanding. 1.38 ERA. Not a big strikeout guy. Opponent's only hitting .204 off the left-hander Poche.
Strike 2, Frazier. Well, we got another look at Shane McClanahan tonight, Ben, who's 5-0, 245 at 7 starts against the Orioles. And this was just about the same for Shane McClanahan, who was ace level good again.
Yeah. And his stuff is just elite as Frazier lifts the ball out to left field. But good changeup, good fastball, and boy, he showed you 99 a couple times, both to Rutschman. One of the best in the game for sure.
Now, Colin Poche struggled against the Orioles last year. 8 games, 7 1/3, gave up 7 runs, 6 earned, and 3 homers. And one of those notably was against Ramon Urias in a game on July 26. Ramon hit a go-ahead home run in the 8th inning in that game. A game started by McClanahan.
Well, it's just a 2-pitch mix. That's all Poche has. 4-seam fastball, he uses it about 66% of the time, and then the slider about 37% of the time. Fastball's going to average right about there, 92, 93.
It's kind of interesting. Poche doesn't throw terribly hard. So you might say, is he a high spin rate guy? Not really. The one thing that jumps out is that he gets extension. He throws the ball very, very close to home plate. That makes it tough for the hitters. There's some deception there too. And see how late Urias is on some of these fastballs.
Yeah, and you got to respect the slider too, because the slider, he's the one he does a lot of his work with. Opponents only hitting .067 off the slider this year. When he gets you in a hole like he's got you right now, he is tough. I think you're right. I think he hides the ball really well. Hitters don't pick it up.
1-2. Ramon to third. Diving play. Walls gets up. Taylor Walls, a Gold Glove caliber player, retires his counterpart.
Yeah, he can do it on defense. And probably the best defender the Rays have. And watch him at the third base position here. Just gets it right off the ground quickly to his feet. Well, you see his jump step. A lot of infielders will do that. Just as the pitch goes to the plate, they want to be hopping a little bit, being on the balls of their feet in case the ball is hit to him. You won't see any big league infielders be flat-footed when the ball crosses home plate. All of them will kind of walk it up and they'll jump into position.
Folks with the Rays will tell you Taylor Walls can play 3 different positions on the infield, and he's not just a guy that, yeah, can play. He can really play. Third, short, second.
Yeah.
He is a good defender at any of those spots, and he might be one of the best defensive shortstops in the game if he played for a team that didn't have a generational 22-year-old talent at shortstop.
But he's valuable because you can stick him anywhere, and he can run too. I mean, he can really pick him up and put him down.
Ball and 2 strikes for Ryan McKenna. Orioles with 4 hits, 4 walks against Shane McClanahan tonight. Runners on base, they were 0 for 8 with a walk.
Yeah, runners in scoring position has been a struggle the last 3 games. The final 2 games of the Braves series, the Orioles were 2 for 23 and 0 for 5 tonight.
McKenna smacks one into center field, and that's in for a base hit. And Ryan McKenna will bring the tying run to the plate in the 7th.
1 for 3 night for Ryan McKenna. And boy, he has been swinging it as of late, especially off left-handers. Poche tries to get a fastball up and in. McKenna quickly to it with the head of the bat.
Cedric Mullins getting a night off after playing a lot on the road trip and 3 big outfields, and you can feel more comfortable the way McKenna's playing to give Mullins a night off. Austin Hayes belts one for a base hit into left, and McKenna's going to try to run on a Rosarena, who throws it way too high. And that throw by a Rosarena to third, that decision enabled Hayes to take second behind the play. 2 on, 2 out, and Adley Rutschman coming up.
Well, we told you how well Austin Hayes has been hammering some fastballs. A 2-hit night for him. Well, watch him go up and get this fastball in the top part of the zone, and a rocket off the bat. Rosarena comes in and just airmails this ball. And as a runner coming around first base, you read the height of that throw. You see it that high, you take an extra 90 feet. McKenna first to third. Hayes sitting out at second base. 1 base hit here by Adley Rutschman could tie this game.
Do you think a Rosarena had a shot at second if he had gone there?
I mean, that's the play that you're supposed to make. You're supposed to go into second base, and the fact that if he'd come up and thrown to second base, he may have kept Hayes at first base. But Hayes is wide open going around first, and it's got to be a big turn, and you're reading the throw from there.
Kyle Snyder wants to chat this over. Danny Coulombe has joined Keegan Aiken. And Adley Rutschman is going to at some point snap out of this hitless streak.
Well, right now would be a grand time to do it.
An engaged crowd behind him in this matchup of the American League's 2 best teams. And Rutschman sees a fastball high. Been a whole lot better this season from the right side of the plate. .313 with a .443 on base. 1-1 with a fastball. That's Kevin Kelly in the Rays bullpen. Two and one.
Boy, 3 straight fastballs to Rutschman, huh?
who has really struggled against breaking balls, hitting .354 on fastballs. Another fastball, and he's late.
We talked about Rutschman earlier, and that's where I feel like he's kind of been a little bit late on the fastballs.
McKenna and Hayes, the runners. And Rutschman strikes out on a slider. It's in the dirt. He'll run it out. The inning is over. Orioles have stranded 8. They have scored 0. Orioles used 5 relievers yesterday. The only 3 that didn't pitch: Baker, who threw the 7th, an inning, struck out 2. An inning walked 2, beg your pardon. And then Aiken and Coulombe. So the Orioles down by 2, save Coulombe, and they bring in Aiken, who's thrown fastballs 2/3 of the time this year. Lau Wall's low. Lefty switch lefty against Keegan Aiken in the 8th. Night of missed opportunities for the Orioles, who are 1 for 10 with a walk with runners on base. Second inning had 2 on 2 out. McKenna flied out. 4th inning had 2 on nobody out. McCann flied out. Frazier hit a pop up that turned into a double play. 6th inning had a double from Santander, who was stranded at second. And then 2 on 2 out in the 7th, and Rutschman struck out. All right, here are Drew Goldfarb's FanDuel same game parlay picks. And right now, Shane McClanahan's 7 strikeouts mean that Drew is not going to hit what would have been a pretty juicy one, a +878. It's provided by FanDuel Sportsbook. Lau 0 for 4. And Walls turns around to the right side, where he's been much better this year. Well, 4th straight day, we could say it, a well-played game between the Orioles and one of the league's best. Right now they're proving that they look the part, but they did not finish late in the game against Atlanta the last 2.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, the Orioles starting pitchers have put together 4 good starts in a row. Gibson, 6 innings, 6+. Gave up 2. Kramer probably had his best outing of the year against the Braves. He pitched 6, gave up 1. Radish gave up 3 in 5 innings, and then Tyler Wells, a really good outing for him yesterday. 5 innings of work, only 1 run.
Keegan Aiken with a strikeout of Walls, 2 down.
Yeah, Keegan Aiken will do that to you. 95. Loves to throw the high fastball when he gets ahead in the count. Can't do it much better than that.
Josh Lowe. Nice slider. Laser beam home run in the 2nd gave the Rays the lead, and right now Lowe is looking hapless at the slider.
Yeah, Keegan Aiken looks really sharp tonight.
That's as sharp as he's looked all year. He needed that, and the Orioles needed it. Heart of the order coming up, down by 2 against Tampa. Nothing in the first of 13 meetings this year. Keegan Aiken a perfect 8th. And now the Orioles try to make some noise against the Rays. Rule 5 selection, Kevin Kelly.
Yeah, Kevin Kelly out of James Madison University. 19th round pick back in 2019, making his 14th appearance. Solid ERA, 19 innings of work, 15 punchouts. He is a strike thrower. 5-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio.
Heart of the order to face him. And Ryan Mountcastle lasers one late. To give you a sense of the Rays bullpen tonight, Kevin Kelly is a Rule 5 pick, major league rookie, throwing for the 3rd time in 4 days. And he has to pitch the 8th inning in a 2-0 game.
Yeah, took his first loss on Saturday. Before that, he was outstanding. Got a save on the year as well. That's probably his best pitch, that sweeping slider. Throws his sinker about 43% of the time. Fastball's not above league average, 91 miles an hour. Throw the sweeper about the same amount, 43%. Occasional cutter.
Mountcastle hangs back on it, but not long enough. Josh Lowe in right field. Mountcastle 1 for 4. Josh has had a much easier night in right field since the last time we saw him here, when a Trey Mancini fly ball went careening off his face for an inside the park home run in what turned out to be Trey's final home at bat as an Oriole.
Day game, wasn't it?
It was. Rays thought it should have been an error. We say no. But here's Anthony, who can, with a hit, pick up a 7th straight multi-hit game, though he's been on base twice. Last Oriole to do that, Jose Iglesias, who had that great shortened season in 2020.
Yeah. What a start he got off to that year, huh?
Only player in the big leagues this season with 6 straight 2-hit games. And he's not going to get it here. Kelly with a strikeout.
Yeah, Kelly's got that unusual arm angle, and it's almost like the ball rises. Watch him drop down and throw it from, it feels like about waist high. Drops it way down and just up in the zone he goes.
9th strikeout for Tampa Bay. Here's Mateo. The ball really moves out of the right arm of Kelly, who had a 2.04 ERA between AA and AAA in the Cleveland organization last year.
Yeah, the Rays have 2 or 3 of these guys in their bullpen, all right-handed. It's kind of sidearm or down low.
Ryan Thompson as well. That's the man they want to end the game with.
Yeah, he's pitched in 3 of the last 4 games. Looks like it's going to be 4 of the last 5.
If there's one concern with the Rays, it's their bullpen gets a lot of work. Sometimes that's by design. They still use openers in front of bulk pitchers, long relievers.
But it is still the 3rd best bullpen in baseball.
Hey, there aren't many concerns. You grasp at straws a little bit when a team's 28-7. Mateo 1 for 3 with a bunt base hit. And that's going to reach the seats. James McCann is on deck. The Orioles do have some left-handed bats on the bench, Mullen, Stowers, and Henderson. And they have a 3rd catcher, Luis Torrens. Not going to matter now. The Rule 5 pick, Kelly, with a 1-2-3-8. 2-0 into the ninth. Orioles the 3rd best. Kevin Cash's team a home run from Josh Lowe in the 2nd. And a 7th inning run. Luke Raley singled. Francisco Mejia walked. Yanni Diaz walked. And Wander Franco hit a sacrifice fly. And that's it. Orioles pitching has been really good tonight. Kyle Gibson's changeup went down as easy as a smoothie sour, but Shane McClanahan even better. The Rays bullpen behind Poche and Kelly, 2 scoreless, and Tampa Bay trying to add to this lead and claim the first of 13 games between these teams this year.
Smoothie sour? There's no way that goes down smooth.
No, it does. It's delicious. Trust me. Blackberry, blueberry,
I'll
raspberry, whatever you
take
get.
your word for it.
I mean, it's no small batch bourbon, but hey, both get the job done. 2-2. Strikeout by Aiken on a changeup. Boy, Keegan Aiken throwing the best ball of his season. He struck out 3 in a row.
Well, he needed to pick it up, and he has tonight. 4 batters faced, 3 punch outs, and how about this changeup? Turns it over, runs it away from the bat of Jose Siri. Siri with 2 punch outs, 0 for 4 night for him.
Luke Raley By the way, a friend of mine said that I should use the phrase, and you would know what it means, hotter than salsa on a sunburn.
Yeah, I know that one. Hotter than salsa on a sunburn. That would be a Lynn Rollins saying.
The Lynn Rollinsism. Great longtime voice of LSU sports down in Baton Rouge. Lynn called this amazing play in the Georgia LSU softball game the other day. He said a girl who made the play was like a ninja and a wizard. I believe it was Ellie Armistead at shortstop.
You just never know what's going to come out of Lynn Rollins' mouth, but it is entertaining for sure.
High fly into right field from Raley, and the Rays have some insurance. A hanging slider that went hanging into the bleachers for Luke Raley, and the Rays' second solo shot of the night makes it 3-0.
Rays now 73 home runs on the year. The Braves were in second in home runs with 58. Keegan Aiken, that is the only mistake he has made in his 1+ innings of work.
Luke Raley really hit the Orioles well last year, and now he's got 8 home runs out of his 18 hits this season. Mejia, 2 down. The MLB Ballpark app will complete your next visit to Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Buy and manage game tickets, redeem offers, access exclusive content, and much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today. Oriole ninth, it'll be McCann, Frazier, Urias due up. Orioles have Mullen, Stowers, Henderson, and Torrens on the bench. Down 3 at least. Diaz to third. That's foul. Somebody who loves his pink belt and pink cleats. A colorful guy. Mateo ends the inning, but the Rays get one more on a Raley homer. Last licks for the O's, down 3 against baseball's best. Have only been shut out once this season. The Rays looking for their 7th shutout. How about this? If the Rays shut out the Orioles tonight, the Rays will have as many shutout wins as they do total losses. Cedric Mullins will try to change that. He'll pinch hit for James McCann to lead off the 9th. Isaac Paredes is the new first baseman. So it'll be Mullins, Frazier, and Urias due up 6, 7, and 8. Kevin Kelly a perfect 8th, struck out 2. And now Jason Adam with 4 seconds to go on the timer. Oh, can't hear the pitch com. Now we're good. Nope, are we? Hold on. Phone home. Yes. Thumbs up. Let's just stick it in there. And start the pitch timer again. Adam has been worse than he was last year, because last year he was ridiculous. His ERA is a little better. Some of the numbers are a little worse, but he's still become one of the best relievers in the game with nasty movement like that, though that looked like a little extra from Todd Tichenor.
Yeah, the four-seamer's been hit hard, 429, but opponents only hitting 150 on that changeup and 050 on that sweeper.
And that changeup looks like a glitch.
Yeah, well, that's the one he uses the most. He'll throw it about 41% of the time.
He's throwing it more than he did last year. He's ahead of Mullins, who calls time. Tampa Bay 28-7, 9-4 on the road. Orioles 22-12, 9-4 at home. Need 3 runs before 3 outs. And there's a spiked changeup.
Wow.
And a matchup of World Baseball Classic teammates, Adams sweeps away Mullins.
First sweeper Mullins sees, changeups and fastballs away, and watch this ball turn. Now that's a real sweeper. I mean, just right to left.
How do you do that? Jason Adam, another one of these pitchers that was scuffling, kicking around the league, and comes to the Rays and they hone his skills. Oh boy. Third game in 4 days and your ball's moving like this. Adam to Frazier. See, he's got his full name on the scoreboard. Look at that. Adam Frazier.
I got you.
A-D-A-M.
Look where the glove is.
Look where the ball is.
Well, and see, that's the target. So Mejia's giving him the sign. This is where I want you to start this pitch. Then this is where I want it to end up. So the glove says, start it right here and bring it back. And you can't do it any better than that.
So Rays relievers have struck out 4 in a row, 5 of the last 6 since the Orioles had second and third 2 out. Ramon Urias, Orioles' last chance. And Urias will keep the game alive. Nice night for Ramon, 2 walks and a single. And the tying run will move to the on-deck circle. Urias moved really slowly to first, and Brian Ebel's going to come out.
Yeah, and Ramon's not even going to think about staying in the game. I don't know. Looks fine right there. Oh, yeah, you can see him pull up.
Kyle Stowers will pinch run. So Ramon Urias hurts himself at the back end of that run to first. And Ramon is going to limp into the clubhouse. Been so steady for the Orioles this season. And after reaching base 3 times tonight, Urias is out of the game. Here's the rookie Henderson. .176 average. What you care about in this spot is the .342 on base percentage. Just have to get on by any means necessary.
Well, he'd love to get on for Austin Hayes, who's had a nice night. 2 for 4 night for Hayes.
2-0 slider. And this is a pitcher with a sweeper and a slider, Jason Adam. We've seen the tight slider twice tonight. Henderson to left and foul. The Orioles down to their final strike. First game of 3, 6:35 tomorrow. Grayson Rodriguez, Zach Eflin. Just in case. There's Felix. The 2-2. Henderson down swinging, and the Rays shut out the Orioles. In this matchup of the American League's best teams, at least through the first 35 games, Tampa Bay proves to be 3 runs better. The Orioles shut out for the second time this season, and the Rays draw first blood in the